Shitcase Cinema. On the Shitcase Cinema. Oh, it's the Shitcase Cinema.
Now, here are a few plot descriptions of a film, and just see if you can guess what the movie is, okay? There's a secluded base where everyone is killed off by the monsters except for one single child. Some hard-ass marine type figures are brought in to sort out the mess. They crawl through vents, and while escaping, one character goes back to help another one, but when they're trapped, they blow themselves up. The helicopter pilot being attacked from behind by a monster and then crashing. And fighting the big monster at the end with an industrial machine and pushing it into a pit. Now, most people would instantly say aliens, and if you didn't, well, that's not your fault, is it? Your mummy and daddy probably just never let you watch the film. But if you said Carnosaur 2...
Carnosaur 2.
Well, you'd be correct, because Carnosaur 2 is the biggest rip-off of Aliens you could possibly comprehend without that horrible tag of remake or reboot looming over it. So yeah, this is a sequel to that cinematic piece of gold called Carnosaur. Now, I've just about recovered from reviewing that horrendous flick, and my doctor has said it's okay for me to see what those green brothers are doing now, so let's go take a look, shall we?
Greetings, green brother.
Well, they're not breeding out of eggs on a chicken farm anymore. No, they just immediately exist in a government nuclear facility. So here's Jesse. He's the equivalent of Newt from Aliens. Now here we see him getting a lesson on how to drive a huge bulldozer machine.
Don't throw this lever up. It operates the automatic doors over there.
Now remember how I told you not to use that lever because it's a very important part of the story and you'll need it come the end to plagiarize Aliens some more. Okay, I won't let you down. Now, I think this movie plods on for about 30 minutes before we actually see what is killing people, and even then it's just a puppet head or a moving rubber dino doll, just like the first movie, or like me using Lego men and some cheap rubber dinosaur toys. But because I don't have any, I can't show you. That's a shame. The opening diner scene where people are killed seems to be caused by some invisible force, launching people left, right and centre. Scary shit. Kind of reminds me of Hollow Man. Playing that music in a helicopter is so original, but well done for not ripping off Aliens with that idea, but moving on to Apocalypse Now is not any cooler. So we're told by this guy here that somehow the dinosaurs were brought back from the dead. He doesn't want to bore us though with details telling us how they did bring them back, but maybe the writers just couldn't come up with a storyline to top the story from the first film where they bred them with chicken DNA and women gave birth to them. I mean, that's the pinnacle of storytelling right there. So this badass guy of the group has problems finishing off his sentence, assuming everybody else can just read his mind. It's really stupid, but I guess it works well within the film's setup.
Whoa, you're not telling me that those goddamn things that they were...
Yeah.
So from now on, I think I'll just... And while we're still on that topic, how about... Good. So after two members of the elite group are killed, things really pick up pace at the speed of a big fat slug.
Whoa. Huh? What?
You know, I'm even boring myself with this. This film has no passion in it, and it's not even funny in a it's so bad it's good way. It's just bullshit. So, moving right towards the closing stages, we get lots of boring talk.
What?
A few more scenes lifted from Aliens.
Get away from her, you bitch!
And more bullshit talk.
What? Have a nice trip, big boy.
Oh, come on. Once was enough, thank you very much. Do we really need it playing again? Plus, you're not even in a helicopter now. Jesus. So, this scene is pretty funny, as it reminded me of Carnosaur 1. You know, where the girl gets her plastic leg bitten off and stops screaming when she realises it's missing? I love it when she notices that her leg is missing and she stops screaming. Well, this is a carbon copy of that, but instead of a leg being pulled off, it's an arm. Well, I wonder what comes off in Carnosaur 3. Perhaps an arse cheek? So as they're escaping, the entire place starts to blow up as the stupid dinosaurs keep walking into tripwires which set off explosives. And what happens if you see a dinosaur in your pathway on your way to escaping? You stand and take the piss out of him because he can't move towards you due to his plastic legs not having the capability to walk. Or you can cruelly blow him up with dynamite, which is kind of unfair I think because the dino can't move. So these two decide enough is enough, and as Richard Harrison always tells us in his ninja films, born a ninja, die a ninja. So they blow themselves up. Even though they weren't ninjas, so that's just completely irrelevant. So the lone survivor and Jesse, try to escape from the gigantic slow-moving feet of the mother dinosaur. This is pathetic. It's about as terrifying as me running away from a pair of shoes. You know, the thing with this guy and Jesse is he seems awfully fond of the kid. Oh, I get it. It must be like Ripley and Newt. Silly me, why didn't I realise that? He sure seems fond of that boy though. Now for some crazy reason, he decides to walk into a tripwire and then jump to his doom, leaving Jesse to run away. The rescue unit are here, but then Jesse decides he can't leave his new father figure and decides to run back for him. So naturally he saves him because he conveniently landed on a bed mattress and pipes made out of foam. And then it's time for the grand finale, and not a moment too soon. This battle goes on for about 5 solid minutes with the same angles and the same shots. It's so tedious. Aliens much? You decide. So they fly away together and that's the end. Well, that was fun. So much so that I'm going to go now bury my head in the ground until next year when hopefully shitty movies no longer exist. So here's to having a great year in 2010. Thanks for watching and thanks for your support.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain.